Hi, this is Amy Johnson, and this is my problem assignment video for Math 626. And the course that I am going to be presenting, this particular one is Calculus 1. It would be near the end of the year. I will be teaching it next fall, but I'll also be teaching the lesson in the coming weeks. Question is, why have I chosen this particular lesson? The lesson I'm going to do, just so you know, these are the learning objectives. Basically, we're dealing with integrals, finding area. And more specifically, I want to deal with area of regions between two curves. And the whole reason this particular problem or activity came to my mind was truthfully jump-started in my brain because of our sheep and silo problem for this particular class. I talked to Dr. J and asked if I could possibly use it, and he said, I don't actually have my answer correct on my work, but I was close, and I now know the error that I made on mine. But I just thought that actually got my brain thinking, and it helped me to visualize it. So I'm hoping that this will help my students to visualize things as well. They seem to understand it conceptually, but I don't believe they ever grasp it when I want them to convert something to the real world. And I think that our sheep grazing problem would definitely convert things to the real world. Additionally, what I have noticed is anytime I ask students to do something with respect to X, integration with respect to X, they can go along. But anytime I ask them to do something with respect to Y, that's when they start to really struggle. And I kind of thought if I encourage them to go respect to, they might not set these problems up with respect to Y. My brain did, just that's the way I set mine up. But I thought maybe they would give it a try. So dealing with integration, this is where they're going. And my thought process in the whole way I would present this to the students is I would probably go through my lessons as normal. And I'd give them the skills on how to actually find the area using integration between two curves and have them go through and do what they needed to do. So these particular problems would be covered in notes the day before, using calculus, using everything like that. Then my thought, it also works a lot with respect to Y and respect to X, just so they've got the skills, because I think that having those skills is important. Then I would move into the application portion. And this truly is just the question as we were posed with it. This is part one. This is very geometry based. And I think it would be good for them to just go back to the basics and remember, okay, what am I dealing with here? So suppose a sheep has been tied to a small shed that sits in the middle of a large grassy field. The rope is used to connect the sheep to the shed, and it's exactly 6 meters long. After tying all knots involved in securing it, assume the sheep has enough water and is extremely comfortable in this collar, so it will make no attempts to remove it. If the sheep is tied to the corner of a 10 meter by 10 meter shed, what is the total area that the sheep is able to graze? I don't think this one's going to cause them much problem. I think that they will go through things with relative ease, and they will not need to use calculus, nor will I require them to use calculus on this. I would just want them to think it through. However, as they're starting it, I would definitely go through some of these reminders with them. What are you being asked to find? What can you use to help you come up with a plan? Diagrams, graphs. Is it similar to any problems you've done in the past? Can you make it simpler in any way? Could you write any equations to simplify things? That particular portion, this right here, that's going to be really important when we get to the silo one. I really want them to realize, wait, these are two circles. I know how to write equations for circles. I know how to go with these. I might have to jump in and help, but knowing how long to let them struggle on their own and kind of think things through, that will be hard for me. But I think that's what I want them to do. And then the last one, my particular class this year, they don't like to talk to each other. Other years I can get them to talk. This class does not want to talk to each other. So I would put in a reminder of talk to each other. The act of working things out loud will help you see things on your own or see your own thought pattern. Sorry for the little return there. And then they need to carry out the plan and then look back. Do your answers make sense? I would want them to use a little bit of background information. Application 2, this is the same one we got in our class. Tie it to the corner of a 4 meter by 5 meter shed. Now here with the circles wrapping around the corners, there they might start actually thinking things a little more in depth. I'm hoping they could go through that. But then we come to this one, and I know my error. I assumed that the rope would say straight, and so I literally just thought it was the difference of the area of two circles. So I just set up equations and found the integration between there. I would be very happy if my kids got to that point and even saw that, and I can get out of this and show you where I was going with my work. This is my work for it. So what I did not realize, or I didn't take into account, was in order for it to actually reach this point, my rope would have to be straight, which means it's not actually going to go that far. That distance is going to be diminished. So it's not actually going to be that. But for the purposes of calculus, I think I would encourage them, let's just pretend it actually could go that far. I don't know how to tweak that in the wording, but even to let them see that and then realize, okay, now my area is going to be a little bit less than this because it cannot stretch quite that far. And then maybe they could run from there. This is my hope, and I think they would really have fun with it because I don't give them enough challenge type problems like this. And these are the smart kids that just like to work things through. I felt badly just stealing an example that we had already done in our class, but I really think it's going to be the most applicable. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.